Acting?
Acting.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
And I'm Tiana.
We're two working actors. We happen to be women.
We happen to be Black. Sometimes that matters.
And sometimes it doesn't. Either way,
we're here to talk about all things acting, from personal experiences
to the industry itself, and of course our love of the craft.
So join us as we chat with each other, as well as the occasional acting friend, as we talk about all things
acting.
Well, welcome back, you guys. We're here today with a very exciting special guest. T, do you want to do the honors?
Yes, her name is Natalie, and we are currently rehearsing a play together called the Book Club Play, which by the time that this is airing, you still have time to go get tickets to opening night or opening weekend. So we are both in the play, and she is playing Jen. And so welcome, Natalie.
Yeah, thank you both for having me. I'm excited. So this is a new experience for me. So yeah.
I have a question already because Alicia, I don't know if I told you this, but Natalie also had a podcast.
Did you? Okay. So we're listening. We're talking to another host here.
I feel like you're a pro.
Yeah. So you know like what the vibes are.
Yeah, so I started a podcast. It's in like literally in its infancy with a friend who's a psychologist because I'm a marriage and family therapist. So we basically had a moment of like, do you want to start a podcast? So we did. So it's basically like going to be us yapping about different like psychology related stuff, basically. So, but it's interesting because we have like similar but different lenses because of, I'm a therapist and she's a psychologist. So, and she teaches at university. So, yeah.
I was going to say, when you say psychologist, like a researcher, like she does research psychology.
Yeah. So she has her PhD, and so she's definitely into research, but then she teaches at Widener as well. So shout out to Maureen. Yeah, so I'm excited to like get that going because we have to really get it going still. So yeah.
I love that. And that's actually kind of what we did. Like we always would talk after class. Like it was ridiculous. Our classes, it used to be notorious for them. We would talk for like hours after class ended at like 10 o'clock. We would still be talking, having acting conversations. And so me and Alicia one day were just like, let's just have it on a podcast. And that's literally how, how it started. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So speaking of, sorry.
I was just going to say the best podcast start from a conversation. Just a little quick.
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's interesting because previously me and Alicia have had a conversation where we always wondered if people who are therapists or psychologists or people who have studied that, because Alicia was a psychology major in college, if that gives them a leg up in acting. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like you have a better understanding of human behavior coming into acting because of your background?
Yeah, it's a really good question. When I was, because I've been technically practicing in total now about 10 years, including like grad school and everything. So it's been, which is kind of wild to say, but it's true at this point. I remember like when I was first starting out, mostly people would be like, so does like psychology help you with like acting and, helping you to understand characters better? And, I feel like my answer to that, like if I were to answer that question first, my answer to that would be, I don't know so much if it's that as it is like I think my empathy muscle has been tuned in a certain way, and my relationship muscle has been tuned in a certain way, if that makes sense. And that's kind of how they really overlap. Alicia's like, yes.
I love no, I remember when me and T first had this conversation and I really struggled because I was like, yes and no. Like it's kind of a yes and no answer. But I think that's exactly what it is. It's like the empathy aspect and the relationship aspect. Because like those are all tools that you learn when you study psychology and you practice being a therapist through practice, like you're researching and whatnot. So
absolutely. Yeah. No, what you just said exactly. I think because it's all relationships at the end of the day. It's all how you, listen and give and take in an interaction. I mean, that's what a lot of this is about. So, you see it in a therapy session and then you see it in a scene, right? So, like when I'm on stage with you, for example, Tiana, like there's moments when, and I don't necessarily clock it like in the moment, but I know that I am using kind of some of the same skills, if you will, to have that moment and empathize with you, if that
There,
makes
it makes a lot of sense. And also, one of my favorite moments of the show, now that we're like working it more, is when you break down to Anna. So basically, Alicia, like it gets to a point where this woman runs this book club, right? And she's kind of like, she's kind of a lot, like she's very type A, and she ends up kind of offending all of us essentially, and that's like the climax. And there's a
This is
point.
Natalie's character, your character?
No, no, no.
Or no, this is
This is
another character.
Yeah, it's her name is Anna,
Oh,
not
okay.
Anna, Anna. So it gets to a point where Natalie's character Jen says to her, she gives her a compliment first, and she's like, "Oh, you're such a strong woman. Like people like you run the world." And then she says, "But people like you also break things without knowing it." And that is one of my favorite moments because of how you deliver those lines. Because it's almost, it seems to me like, because that kind of is how you have to get across to someone like that, where you're like, yeah, you have a lot of great qualities, but here's where you messed up. And that's just like the way that the delivery of those two lines, like the switch in tone, that's just my favorite moment with you.
I notice you've
It
been reacting
almost
to it lately too, Tiana. I,
It's
I've been
so
catching that.
it's
It's
so
like
good.
resonating with you. I know.
Oh, it's so good. Yes. Yes.
It's funny.
Oh,
yeah,
I
it
love
almost
it.
sounds like some of that training, like you pull on some of that training for that moment.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I think so. It's interesting because I don't know if you remember this, Tiana, when we were rehearsing and like modifying that particular scene,
Hmm.
I kind of said, I said, I don't know if you clocked this, but like I said to the director, oh, I need to be able to have a thought before I do anything else with this.
Hmm.
And it's kind of lingo that I feel like I've picked up from Brian. You know what I mean? I don't, if it, and like, I kind of feel like I have to reference the actors lab because it's just, come on now, right? But I feel like I wouldn't have talked like that before, taking classes with Brian because that's sort of like where I get that language from.
I have
Yeah.
a follow-up question, but I don't want to keep talking, Alicia, if you have another question, because I can always circle back to what I want to say.
Well, no, because I want to pivot the conversation. So if it's still within the realm of like this topic, like
It's fine. We can circle back.
okay. So speaking of the Actors Lab, since this is my first time meeting you, Natalie, I'm really curious because you had mentioned when we first jumped on the call that we probably like just missed each other. Like that's kind of what it seems like, we just missed each other. But like, like that doing that dance that people do in other from other classes, whatever. So when did you start taking classes? How long have you been at? Like I want to know your acting history and kind of where that started. And then when did you join the Actors Lab and kind of what that journey has been like?
Yeah, yeah, no, I was prepared for this one for sure. So, so I'll start out with like my very beginning. So I've been doing community theater since I was a young girl and fell in love with it probably around like middle school. It just clicked for me. And I always felt grateful for having found it as early as I did because it's like, okay, I know at the very least something that I'm passionate about. Some people, it takes a while for them to get there. I found it at an early age, so cool. Like, that's awesome. Um, so I did theater. I went to college, studied psychology, but then minored in theater. Went to college in New York City, so it was, a cool experience for those few years. And then I went on to grad school, did my marriage and family therapy thing. And as far as the actors lab and training that I got, so it probably like 12 years ago when Brian was within his first few years of the lab is when I actually joined. So this was like in the beginning of things. So it's been a
Yeah.
while. So I've
Wow.
kind of like, yeah, I've kind of dipped in and out a lot over the years. And I've seen a lot of different faces, as you can imagine, over the years as well. But it's always been like it's my dog, a very positive community for me. And, I've learned a lot, of course, as I'm sure we all have. So, I've done some like, film stuff along the way too, like short student films, that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it's been like for me. And I miss the lab a lot. I hope to kind of dip back into classes at some point in the near future. That's my goal.
When's the last time you were in class?
Trying to remember. It's honestly been a minute, a longer minute than I would like. Maybe maybe like a year and a half, honestly. So it's been a little while, but yeah,
You'll go
yeah,
back. You'll get back there when you're ready.
yeah,
It's life is cyclical that way, you know.
yeah, yeah. I miss it, but like it's not going anywhere either. It's something that
That's
you
for
can
sure.
always kind of get back into if you want. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's a passion of mine. It always has been, and I know that it always will be, sort of a thing. So
So you started in community theater, so clearly you have a stage uh, history. What is your
yeah.
preference? Because you said you have dipped your toes into film, and Actors Lab, not for nothing, it does focus on screen acting. So where do you see that fitting a role in your acting career and pursuit?
Yeah, so from my experience doing both, I love both. I just love the art. I think something that is really special, though, about theater and community theater in particular is just the community aspect of it. And there's, always something that can be done. It's very much like immersive. If you want to do something backstage, you can. If you want to do something on stage, if you want to be like technical about a production, I feel like there's a lot of opportunities to just do and to create. And it's like the degrees of connection that you end up like coming across is just like, well, small world, right? I know Tiana and I have experienced some of that already.
Hmm.
Which is, I love it, honestly. It's so much fun. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of stuff warms my heart, truly. Um, but I think like, as far as Actors Lab goes, I've really learned things and skills that are like applicable, whether it's film, stage, or even life. And I know that's something he's very like big about is even if you don't necessarily apply this to acting, like this is going to influence like how you show up in life with other people and just how you approach life. And I've always found that to be really special about his philosophy. So, but yeah, no, I love both. I love being on set. I would love to be on set again. Someone can put me on set any day now. That's fine with me.
Well, we have a lot of people in our class that we've been talking about writing and directing our own stuff, and that's always on the table. Now we have Mike, who I don't remember if I told you about the rap musical thing, but it's like a Christmas. Yeah. So he's doing that. So it's like people are creating things, and now we can just reach out and be like, "Hey, I know a group of actors. Let's see if anyone wants to be in my thing." And there's a lot of connections. So I'll pass that word along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
And
Actors
that's
Lab
always
is a
been
great
something
community.
special about the Actors Lab community is like I know like, the connections and the different work that's being done. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Nice.
So I have a question. Well, it's kind of like a comment on how, because watching you in rehearsal is really a treat, and I feel like I learn a lot about you. And so I'm just curious about your process of justifying your character's decisions, because I feel like you do it very well, and I feel like you're very thoughtful about everything, all of the actions that you do, whether it's like I have to get up and go get some water now, because not even for a character reason, but because now I'm behind someone, so I have to move so that they can see me. And so you're always like, so how do I justify that? Whereas I'm like, I'll do the blocking and then I'll go home and think about it. And I'll like it'll take me a minute to be like, oh, I could just do this thing, or like it makes sense for my character because, but I feel like in the moment you're very efficient at getting that down so that it makes sense. How
Mhm.
did you get to that point?
That's a big question. Yeah. How did I get to the point of justifying my actions essentially
Like in the
in
moment.
the moment? I don't know if it's just like I've been doing this, since I was young, and it's just like a muscle I've built over a span of a long time, possibly. That's probably a factor at least. I think my mind has just learned to connect. If I'm going to do something in a scene, you need to be able to justify it. And whether that be through training or just through doing the art in and of itself, my brain has learned, I guess, been trained to like justify my choices and my actions. So I'm assuming that probably would explain it to some extent as well.
Mhm.
Rather than just like, wow, I just thought of this. Literally just thought of this. In session as a therapist doing my work, that's also something important is to be able to justify what you do, what you don't do, things that you say, things that you don't say. Because all
Interesting.
of it matters. I just made that connection.
Yeah, I
That
never
is really
thought about
curious.
Yeah.
because when I tell you, Alicia, it's so because now we're in the phase of rehearsals where like we're off book. We're still calling for lines, but we're off book and now we're starting to get our costumes. We're starting to get most of our set, like we're getting the actual furniture. So things are changing. Okay. Blocking is changing constantly just because we're adding the elements in. Like we finally just got use of the stage after the last show ended. So it's like sometimes you may have been doing something, you may have blocked a scene one way and it may have been like that from the beginning, but now all of a sudden it has to change because of X, Y, and Z. And Natalie is like, okay, I can see it now in your face where it's like, you're like, how does that, but why would Jen go do that? And that's so like, I like, it's very admirable to me because I'm just like, okay, what do you want me to do? Like, I'll change my blocking and then I'll think about it later because I want to go home. But you're really good at like on the spot, making it make sense for your character and like holding everyone accountable to the trueness, the nature. What that's not a word. The trueness. What your character would do. I don't know what I'm saying now, but yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know. I I mean, as you've probably gathered from me, I'm not just going to accept whatever is thrown my way in the process.
Hmm. Hmm.
If I feel like I need to challenge it, I will.
Hmm.
And so I think there's been moments where it's like, this doesn't feel justifiable. This doesn't feel like it makes sense to me, at least.
Hmm.
And I think it's important. I think it's important that like whenever you're doing a scene of any kind, you're able to make sense of it in your body. And part of it too, as I'm like talking, may be a body awareness element that happens as an actor.
Like,
When
you mean
I
like the
like,
physicality? Like your
yeah,
physicality?
like a mindfulness in general that I have of my body and this muscle of like connecting to it. And if I'm doing something like on stage, for instance, and it feels off, that I can I can feel that, right? As
Hmm.
the actor and as the character.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like realizing a lot of this as we're talking, honestly. These are really good
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah, it's been great.
Nice.
It's nice being in a community theater space as well because of the different types of actors you encounter. And I always feel like I've learned something good or bad from every actor that I've come across. Like in this, space, most of it's good, but just like how different people approach things. Like I had an actor that it used to get on my nerves, but like from the audition to the end of the show, they would always try new things. And it was like, to me, coming from Actors Lab, where like screen is everything is smaller, and seeing this person like be so super outrageous, and it was good, it served the material. But I was like, this guy is just all over the place. But then I realized that because he found his character in that playfulness, and it was actually quite a nice performance to see, and it served the material, it served the actor and the character, and it was just a really great time. So yeah, I like learning from you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that. I didn't know all of this, but it's really sweet. Yeah, and one of the things that I know I've used like this terminology too, like during rehearsals, right, is the idea of playing. Interestingly enough, I would say more recently at Actors Lab, being trained by Brian, that is what has resonated the most with me is the reminder to play. 'Cause, like, I don't know if either of you have experienced like feeling maybe like rigid in a scene or like you have to do it in a certain way, right? I'm sure we all have. And it's just like, oh, I can just be playful in this. Like, you know what I mean? I can make different
Natalie,
choices. I
you
can be like, you know what I mean?
literally
Wrong
speaking my
about
language. I
it.
just I think I just had this breakthrough as an actor within like the past few months. And I mean, Brian even said it like to me last week in one of my scenes. He's like, or maybe the week before, he's like something's happened where it's like you're playing more. Like you're not holding back, like you're letting yourself be messy. Like and just like there is something to that letting go. And it is so hard. And I think that's what a lot of new actors when they start this journey, like they well like kind of find themselves struggling with it. Like maybe it's something that they didn't realize that they'd be struggling with, but there is like sort of like a rigidness to it when you're holding yourself back because you don't want to be too much, because you don't want to, because you know you're acting, right? Like so it's like on top of trying not to act, you're like, but I don't want to be too much. So it's like so there's all of this that goes into it, and then there's something that happens where you let go, and you just like it's almost like a weight is lifted and you're like, oh, I can literally do whatever the fuck I want. And like Tiana, like you said, like you'll find the character within those bounds. It's interesting.
Yeah, hopefully, Alicia, you'll get to see those moments, like because sometimes, well, a lot of time there's five for most of the show. There are five actors that are on stage, and sometimes you're not talking. And so our direction has been to react to the fake camera that's in the room. And so we've been getting that direction that your reactions have to be bigger. You have to play more. So like there's a couple of times where we're not engaged in dialogue. And so we're kind of behind the people that are talking. And we'll just be back there like cracking up or something. And actually, our director at the last rehearsal was like, yeah, this is the first time I'm going to tell you that was a little too much. We're like,
Okay, but no, but that's good because they've been telling you to do more. That's so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so funny because I think the moment that he was referring to was we were laughing at something real, and it
Oh, it
just
was like
kind of
genuine.
like, yeah. So yeah, it's really funny. But yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Well, you just like start to kind of have fun and play, and then like maybe it's a little bit of like Tiana and Natalie actually being the ones laughing or whatever, that sort of thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
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 But and then I think I like I said something along the lines just then of like, um, man, you rarely ever hear that when you're like being directed in a show, like you're being too big, you need to make it smaller, you know what I mean? So yeah, it is
How funny
that's
that you
Hmm.
you guys actually got that note. Yeah.
yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
great. It's
yeah.
great.
Okay, wait. So speaking of the show and speaking of rehearsal, Natalie, I want to ask you kind of two questions. one's broad, one's a little bit more specific. What is your process just overall, like when you first get a character, when you're first studying a character and studying the script, like where do you start? I mean, I can imagine having trained with the Actors Lab, and just knowing how like Brian trains his actors, I can imagine use some of his tools, but is there anything that like you incorporate or just like that? Yeah, what's your process? And then within that, T did mention that you had a kiss scene. So if you don't mind, if we can get into that and like what your preparation coming out, like what your process for something like that is. Have you done intimacy in scenes before? And what is that experience then?
Yes. Okay. The second question is gonna be an interesting one for me to answer.
However much you're comfortable sharing,
Yeah,
of course.
no, that's okay. But for the first question, it's interesting for this audition. I went into it. I think I went into it actually with this mindset of like, I'm going to use myself for Jen. Like I already like knew the character description, of course, and everything, and the play description. I'm like, I'm going to, which is also something I've definitely learned from Brian, interestingly enough. And I went in and I just kind of had fun with it, you know. I had side note been auditioning. I know I mentioned this to Yana. I had been auditioning a lot over the course of like a year. I've been getting rejected a lot too. It was actually a really tough journey for me for a little while, that I really had to like work through and like reframe for myself because I kind of just wanted to do the thing at the end of the day, and I kept going out to do the thing and was getting no after no.
Mm.
And I know this is like a little bit of a tangent, but like, um, the rejection, of course, isn't fun. That's something you have to manage. But it got to a point where it's like, it's not even about the rejection anymore. It's like, I see this, um, like passion of mine. I want to, I want to be involved in, and I literally have to depend on somebody else to like give me a yes so I can kind of do it, right? In a lot of ways, at least. So I went into the audition for book club play. I was just like, let me have fun and not overthink it and use myself. And I did. And that's what I've been doing basically since with Jen. It's been a fun time. I think like there's something about using yourself that it just, I don't know, it makes it come alive in a special way, the character. So that's something that I definitely have learned um, over time to do. In terms of other forms of preparation, justification, motivation, of course, um, you know, for different blocking, um, getting to know like uniquely my character, what she's about, backstory, that sort of thing. I'm trying to think what else. I like to, again, like going back to the body awareness, I like to kind of tap into maybe how my character would sit. So I was focused on that, especially in the beginning. How would she kind of carry herself? Um, how would I use Natalie's way of carrying herself and apply it to Jen? And what's different about Jen in that? So kind of finding the similarities and differences between us. That makes sense. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I really like that. I really like starting because I mean that's something in T we kind of talked about it with your last one of your last projects. The historic Philly. Remind me her name.
Storytelling?
Yes.
Oh,
No, no.
the ICY, Carolyn LeCount.
Thank you. Yes. And how like physicality played a lot in how you connected with her as a character. So Natalie, I find it interesting that you're saying like that's one of your starting places, and I think that's brilliant because that is and what I really like that you said is that you because you're using for this specific character you're using maybe a little bit more of yourself than you typically would. Like finding the similarities and then finding the differences because the differences are really what's going to make the character Jen, right? Like it's what's going to differentiate her. So I love that. That's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun little process. And, it's interesting those moments too, right? When you're like, oh, that feels like Jen and Natalie. Okay, cool. at the same time. So,
Hmm.
um, the kiss scene. Hmm. So no, it's okay. I'm a pretty open book about this. So I had a lot of anxiety about this because I've never had an onstage kiss before.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. This is gonna
so
be a new experience. Exciting.
yeah, so a lot of this may need to be edited out, but
You just let us
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
that's it. Um, so there is definitely an element of not only is this my first onstage kiss, but the wife of the actor is literally in the wings.
Oh,
Can I? Okay. So I think I may not have mentioned this, Alicia, but there's a married couple in the characters. The characters are married. The actors that are playing those characters are also married.
okay. Okay. And okay. I
Yeah.
don't think you're the one that's married, Jen. It seems
No.
like your character, Jen, is not the married one.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
has like a scandalous kiss, which I haven't been able to see because we like it happens when we like scatter off stage. So my character never sees it. But also there are several kisses in this play.
Really?
Natalie has one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess my curiosity comes from, and again, share as much as you're comfortable with, like more so like mentally, like you said, like this is gonna be your first on stage kiss. Like, what is that? What is that experience been? Like, how have you been like kind of like handling that or like dealing with that?
So we do technically have intimacy coordination, which is good and needed. I actually talked a lot with friends of mine about this, particularly ones who do theater and acting themselves. And I I received a lot of helpful feedback about how to approach this like mentally from like
Mm.
more of a like cognitive standpoint. Um, because I didn't really know how to think of it really. And my anxiety was getting the better of me, and I think fears were getting the better of me too with it. And I've definitely, I think, gone through a learning curve of understanding what an onstage kiss is, like mechanically, and just how to think of it and approach it. And I will say too, side note, I think because I did not know this couple, like the real life couple going into the show, that contributed to how I was feeling. And then I got to know them. So I will say, like, that night that we went out to eat the first time, it like I felt much better after that, Fiona, because
Hmm.
it's just like, okay, I feel like I've gotten to know them a little bit more, and it was very, very necessary to do that. Um, so yeah, it was definitely about like getting comfortable with the character, getting comfortable with like other actors, and just like reframing it for myself, really, is what it came down to. And then like you do the kiss, and it's like, all right, well, that's done. So I actually felt kind of relieved afterwards. I was like, all
Hmm.
right.
Yeah, I can imagine like the first time is like you just want to get it out of the way. Like once you do it once, it's kind of like okay, you know what to expect. Like you said, it's choreographed, so it's not like it's just gonna happen randomly or you don't know or like whatever. Like it's all like once you've actually done the thing, like I can definitely see that relieving a lot of that pressure. Maybe
Yeah.
that's internally built.
Yes, yes. And you're just like, all right, I just need to do this a bunch of times, basically. And it might go different ways each time, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a whole process in and of itself, interestingly enough. Yeah, but I got through it. I mean, I knew I was gonna get there. I was like, I know that I'll be fine. It's just one of those things when you've never done it before, you
Yeah,
get in your head,
exactly.
So, yeah.
Nice. Well, shout out to you for taking the step because I mean, there's something scary and vulnerable. I mean, acting is scary and vulnerable, really. But like, when you cross especially that kind of like line, like there's like now you're really like getting it's not just about you anymore. It's like it's this other person and like you physically, what are you doing together? Like, and there's something very intimate about that.
It is
But
intimate
professional,
and yeah,
And
yeah. Absolutely. It is vulnerable, especially when you don't know the person well,
mhm.
too. I mean, I think if we were friends going into this, it'd be different, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, yeah, we're gonna like do a platonic kiss, basically, and we can make it silly and fun, but it's different when you don't have rapport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you know the the detail on that one, Tiana.
Yeah, I'm like, because I have to give you guys props because there is so like I have one hug and I overanalyze that hug every night driving home. And it's a quick hug and it's like it's not even like an intimate hug. It's like a so I give props to you guys because there's a lot going on in this play. Also, Alicia, I don't know if I mentioned, we have to, well, we don't have to, but it's highly encouraged that we eat during the play because that's in the script. And also, it's a book club. So, like, if you don't have any lines, you eat. That's been one thing. Speaking of physicality, girl, I've choked on several chips already.
It's so
I've
fun, but
hilarious though, because it could
it's so
also,
fun.
because it's like, it's also on brand for the kid. Like,
Yeah.
you're in book club, you're gonna eat, you're gonna drink wine or whatever, but that's just gonna be another thing that's gonna be really funny. So it's gonna be a good
I am
time.
so excited. I'm so excited to see the show.
Yeah, yeah. The food and drinks is its own character for sure, along with the cast. But yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. There's a bunch of extra characters in this. You could think of it that way. Yeah.
So
So
Natalie,
nope, you go ahead. You
no,
go.
no, no, go ahead. It was literally, it's no. I feel like you're gonna have an more interesting question.
No, because mine's actually not about acting. So,
Well, no, that's fine.
okay.
Up to you to go.
It's so a big part of the one of the acts is they have a conversation or like somewhat of an argument about books, enlightening versus what's the other entertainment? Because we're talking about Twilight and like one of the characters really hates Twilight and she's like, this is not a good book. And so they have that whole conversation. And so I wondered, Natalie, and also for you, Alicia, do you guys have either a book or an author that you feel enlightens you, and then a book or author that you feel just gives you pure entertainment? Because I know I do, but I'm just curious.
Enlightens me. I don't know if
Or
I've read
have.
enough in the past. Unfortunately, you guys, I only read trashy romance.
That's
Um,
fine.
maybe Nora Roberts. She's an OG. She's a classic. The Girls That Know. She is like she raised me actually. So I get a lot of I think a lot of my expectations in terms of quality of writing come from her, particularly her earlier work. Um, yeah, Natalie, you.
So when it comes to books, I actually, Natalie, that is not necessarily Jen, but Natalie is not so much into fiction as much as nonfiction. So um I tend to be more interested in like, I don't know, I don't want to use the term self-help, but it's kind of true. You know what I mean?
Go,
So like the
yeah.
self-growth stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like my psychology brain or what, but or just like being used to reading books in grad school because I actually was a student who read them. When I got a class, I went and got the books. I feel like a lot of people didn't.
I can tell you, I certainly did not for quite a few of the classes that I was not interested in. The ones I liked, I was all into.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. It's
Okay.
more nonfiction for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
What about you,
that's like my
T?
favorite. Oh, I have girl. The authors, my favorite authors are my authors because they either entertain me or they engage me. Like I really love Malcolm Gladwell and like Robert Greene, even though I know it's controversial to like the 48 Laws of Power, but I do feel like it's a commentary on like how people interact with each other and like also how they've interacted with each other in the past, which would basically be anthropology. So I like stuff like that, but then also like Agatha Christie. I'm gonna read Agatha Christie until I die. So, but
Period.
also like I like I love the argument that they have in this play because I do feel like Twilight is an important book. This is actually verbatim one of the lines. Twilight is an important book because so many people like it. So it's a reflection of society. No one's
Yes.
saying it's the best in the world, but if a lot of people like it, it has to be taken into consideration of like, anyway, so that's my whole, we'll save that for my other podcast. I was just curious.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good line too in the show. You're right. I mean, it's a good point that's made because if a lot of people like it, there's a reason why a lot of people like it. You know, there's something there. There's some sort of thread there, you know,
Hmm.
that's connecting
Hmm.
everybody. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
And all art is a reflection of life, you know? And so
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
well, what is that reflecting at that time point in time? What did Twilight reflect? What it became popular during the height of the housing crisis.
Oh,
There you go.
escapism.
Like exactly right.
Yeah.
Vampires like good versus evil, like you know, and that's so there's a lot happening. People needed that. So,
Mhm.
Yeah. Somehow about vampires. It's you know, it's a thing. Vampires have
it
been
Mhm.
a big thing.
yes, they cycle back around into the cultural zeitgeist whenever things are going particularly bad.
Interesting.
Is that actually a pattern?
Yeah, yeah. I swear I watched something that okay, I watched something somewhere on the internet, but it's kind of like the lipstick theory, like where like women will start wearing like lipstick when the economy's doing bad. There's like there's a whole social psychology like study behind it. You know what? I'm just gonna I don't know enough to cite resources, but there's something to it
So
and the
See,
interesting.
trends.
see, that's the type of stuff like I like books that talk about that. Stuff like that. Like actually Malcolm Gladwell had a book called The Tipping Point, or he still has a book, but it was written like 20 years ago and it was about how trends like happen. How do epidemics happen, like social trends and stuff like that. That's so out of topic. But yeah, back to you,
Yeah.
Alicia.
I'm learning so
Um,
much this hour.
that's what we're good for. Welcome to acting question mark.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. What else? Okay, so do you have any acting mentors, like people, actors, whether it's stage, whether it's voice acting, whether it's film acting or screen acting, like that you look up to, whose work you would like really kind of, I don't want to say aspire to, because I don't think any actor really aspires to be, or any actor worth their salt aspires to be like another actor, but you know, just like people that you kind of like align yourself with in terms of where you see yourself as an actor.
I definitely have like actresses I really admire for their work and just for what I feel like they embody. Amanda Seyfried has always been one for me actually for a really long time. Um, trying to think of in terms of female actors. Yeah, I'd say she's definitely like one of my favorites. I don't know. This question's a hard one for me, man.
I've been
Well,
thinking about it for months, ever since T has to like some time ago. Like I've like slowly been adding people to the roster.
yeah, yeah. Who is it for you, Alicia?
So right now, I really, really like Coleman Domingo. I really admire him as an actor. Um, Joseph Quinn. I really like him as an actor. Actresses, I have a little bit of a harder time with. I really like Sophie Thatcher. I like it seems like she's the type of speaking of play, it seems like she's an actress that knows how to play. So I really enjoy her work and what I've seen her in. Um, those are like off the top of my head. But again, yeah, it is a hard question. Like you really do have to like sit and kind of think about it.
Yeah. What about you, Tiana?
I have like a board of directors in my head, and it's a lot of people. Like I just keep adding people. Like honestly, like Viola Davis is up there for me. I really enjoyed Giancarlo Esposito from well, everyone knows him from Breaking Bad, but a lot of his older stuff, I still remember him being so uniquely he like the way that he presents himself on screen in every character and also in The Boys. Like it's so unique that I couldn't figure out what it was at first. So that's like stuck with me for years. Judi Dench, she performed one of my all-time favorite Shakespeare monologues, and like that forever will she's up there with me. Like it's like 25 people. I don't know. Like I'm ridiculous. I just tend to take from everyone because it seems like every other day there's an interview with an actor where they say something and it just kind of resonates with me. And I'm like, okay, so now that I know that about you, when I watch you, I'm gonna keep that in mind to see where I can kind of like understand your thinking in that moment in that scene, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone. Yeah. Also, Tom Cruise for you, right? Weren't you the one that, Alicia?
Oh, I do love Tom Cruise too. Yes. Yes, I do love Tom Cruise. Oh, and I was thinking about it, Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, actually, the both of them together. I think they're phenomenal.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman is a
Interesting.
good one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some, I mean, I don't know, there's so many, and sometimes with favorites questions, I'm just like my brain like short circuits, and I'm like, there's so many to choose from though,
Yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
is kind of an impossible question.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, that's just how I am with them anyway. But then if someone were to like mention, like Viola Davis or like Nicole Kidman, I'm just like, oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they're great. That works.
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow. I feel like we've talked about so much.
yeah,
Yeah, Natalie, this is so fun. You had so many great things to say, like
Yes.
perspective shifting shit. Like I'm like,
Yes.
wait a second.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And you both were asking so many good questions. Yeah, I definitely had moments of like, oh, I've never thought about it in that way, which is cool. So,
Thank you, thank you.
Mm.
I like to think,
Yeah, we're just
oh, we try.
I feel like we're just very curious, and that makes like for good, you know?
yeah, yeah. It definitely makes for a strong podcast when you're just like wanting to know more and be curious and hear perspectives. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Also, Alicia, I have to tell you, Natalie is a really good painter.
Are
We painted
you?
the set this past Sunday. Was that Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. We like painted stuff and she's just going. Meanwhile, mine looks so streaky and like it was funny and it was like
She taught me how to drill without knowing it.
girl,
Tiana was holding the drill in a certain way and I watched her. I was like, "Oh, okay. That's what I should be doing."
here's the thing though, because with drilling, I've only and also I drilled 18 screws that what was that? That was like a weekend ago.
Did you
So maybe
count
a
how
week
many screws there were?
I did because I was so like but like so when you're doing that, it's like the drill, it'll like go crazy. And I'm not strong enough to hold it with one arm. So like I always hold like the back of it. And then one of the directors told me to like put my shoulder into it almost so that I'm controlling it. And then Natalie was like, oh, I was like, girl, I'm just trying not to like hurt myself.
But it's difficult because like it's so shaky unless you actually have like control over the thing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I just that was a whole learning curve in and of itself. Like, yeah, I picked up a lot from set building the last.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're like turning you into like little Bob the Builder.
Uh-huh. Basically, yeah. I mean,
I will say I really like how with this theater, because with most of the theaters that I'm at, it's an expectation because it is community theater that the actors participate in set build in some type of way. However, I feel like with this theater, they're more open to like, okay, yeah, you can screw it in, and like if you mess it up, we can just fix it. Whereas I feel like other theaters sometimes are like, she doesn't know what she's doing, just give her something else to do. And it's like, well, I could leave. Like, just
huh,
but so I felt like this experience was much more supportive, I guess. Is that
yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's really important too, though, to, be understanding that actors are not necessarily knowing what they're doing in that regard. And yeah, and to have fun with it. Like, it doesn't have to be very serious. We're building a set. It's okay. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the world's not
And
gonna end.
also,
Yeah, exactly.
can I just say that like so we had a lot of the set is like it's like blue paint, but it's white like accent kind of. And I thought that they were gonna be able to tell that like because it was the white is kind of see-through, it's white, right? But then like when they start doing the lighting, you can't tell anyway. So it's not like it's not the end of the world, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah. It looks really cool, like with everything put together. It's an interesting setup for sure.
we have a TV. I have to show I took a picture of the set. It's so cute. But yeah. I'm really excited. I'm excited to see what you think about it, Alicia. And maybe
Yeah.
I'm really scared to ask anyone else from the cast to be on the podcast, but maybe we can get someone else to talk about their experiences because I'm still curious about everyone, but I'm really nervous to ask. We'll see.
Well, I mean, if you feel inclined to bring somebody else on, why not? So,
I would love to interview every actor I come across. So why not? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Alicia,
I
no,
do
go
have
ahead.
a thought. I do have a suggestion. You know who would maybe be really good to do with if you want to is Eric.
He's the one I'm most no, okay, we
I see. I feel like that right there is confirmation. Type 111 in chat. That's confirmation. You should ask Eric if he's the one that you're already kind of thinking about.
he has done a lot.
Yes.
And that's why I'm a little nervous to ask. But we'll
Oh,
see.
like
I'm gonna ask.
intimidated. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, but we'll see. But
Yeah. I
anyway,
mean, I'm sure he'd be open to it, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So, and he'd have
Does
he'd
he
have an
know about the
about
podcast?
I'm very hush hush. But I think what we can do is yeah, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up. They'll be like, oh yeah, like Natalie was just on my acting podcast. Anyone else feeling a little?
you should do it. You should ask him.
Yeah, I'll ask it.
Yeah.
But are we to that time, Alicia? You
I
know what
think
time
we
it is.
are. It's a very special segment. I look forward to it every week. At the end of every episode, we have a little segment that we call Performance of the Week. It's where we ask our guests and we ask each other to just think over the past week some things that you've watched, either stage, TV, radio, or an actual in-person interaction that you were like, wow, whatever just happened there was absolutely a performance. And just pick out your favorite performance, something that stood out to you.
Hmm. So
We can,
honestly, something that comes up right away, but it's been a few weeks if that's okay. Um,
Absolutely.
I went to see the Outsiders musical at the Academy of Music within the last, I think it was like 3, maybe 4 weeks ago at this point, and it was amazing. It was so like I woke up like still thinking about it today, sort of a thing, like the
Oh,
score
wow.
and whatnot. It was really good. So, um,
oh my
Okay.
gosh.
fun fact about me, I'm not, and I was actually telling Alyssa this, one of her castmates the other day, who also saw it. I'm an emotional person, but the thing is, I don't tend to like cry with shows or movies. And I cried during this like a legitimate amount in a way that I wasn't expecting. Like it was a thing where you laughed, but then you also cried, especially towards the end of the musical. It was really good.
So I will not be seeing it because I would not stop crying.
You should. Well, the run in Philly is done, but hopefully it's gonna come back. So
They
yeah,
like to cycle back sometimes.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, but highly recommend.
Wow.
10 out of 10 for sure. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Before we get to the other stuff, can you sing? Or do you do musicals?
I don't, but I love watching them.
Okay.
So
Mm,
yeah, mainly because I
Same.
don't.
Yeah. Okay.
valid. T, do you want to go or do you want me to?
Mine is so ridiculous. So let's just get it out of the way. I did not watch Toy Story 3, but I finally worked up the courage to watch a clip of the ending of Toy Story 3. And I don't even think anyone said anything, but it's when the toys are about to get incinerated and then the other toys save them. I speaking of emotional, I'm ridiculous, right? I was crying and I only watched the clip. I didn't even watch the whole movie. So that's my performance of the week. No one even spoke. It was just the animations. Shout out to the animators for
Mhm.
upsetting.
How good they are if you're crying from like a 30-second clip, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I also tried watching Zootopia a few years ago. And that was also ridiculous because I cried and then I shut off the movie because I thought that it was when I don't know if you guys remember this movie, but like there was a adult animal, I think it was like a skunk or something, but he was dressed up as a little kid. Do you remember Zootopia?
Yes.
And like they wouldn't sell the popsicle to him, and so he started crying, and so I was like, "Oh my
Oh.
gosh, like this is terrible. I can't watch it anymore." And my friend was like, "Girl, turn the movie back on. That is a grown man, and he's not actually a kid." And they weren't being mean
That's
to him.
amazing.
Yes, so I'm ridiculous with cartoon movies. That's why I don't watch them because I'm ridiculous. So, but the Toy Story was my performance of the week.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so funny. I was literally just texting a friend about Toy Story 5 and we were both lamenting about how like we're gonna sob when we go to see it.
Mhm.
And then he was like, "Oh yeah, the end." He mentioned the ending of Toy Story 3 and I was like, "Oh, you mean the genocide? You mean like the actual like the terrible thing that's happening at the end?" Yeah, no, that's awful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, yeah. So, what have you been watching?
I've been on a movie kick. I watched a lot of things actually. So the one that sticks out to me, I watched Bring Her Back yesterday. Have you guys heard of that movie? Or actually, no. Actually, I don't want to talk about that one. I want to go back to the back rooms. And I've already talked about this on the podcast a couple weeks ago, but actually, sorry, scratch that from the record. I'm going to talk about both of them. So I watched Bring Her Back and I watched Backrooms. Um, I watched Bring Her Back first, and I just the overall performance of one of the main characters. She plays the crazy mom that adopts these two kids, and she had lost her daughter in like this tragic accident, and so she decides she's going to do this whole elaborate scheme to essentially steal this other girl's soul and put her daughter's soul into it. That's the story of like what's happening. And it's a wild movie, it's a horror movie. But who is that? Sally Hawkins. She plays the main
Mm-hmm.
character. And I loved her in The Shape of Water. So to see such a
Hmm.
different role where she had to play like this actually like crazy woman, and I use that word very lightly because like she's technically a grieving mother, but at the same time it's like hello, like what you're doing is like your grief does not excuse your actions. And so like it was very like I thought she ate that role up just watching her throughout the entire film. Try to be like this normal person, but like clearly like there's something wrong with this woman. I don't know, she just played it very well. I do recommend it. And then I went to see the Backrooms again because I really wanted to watch it again. And again, I just have to shout out Chiwetel Ejiofor. He had this one monologue towards the end, and it just he did so well. Like his performance was so chilling, especially that monologue because you really see a man who's like kind of like his reality snapped. Like he's like no longer like you know on the same like plane of existence as you and I. Like he's like given into his demons kind of, and it was just really interesting to watch him play that character.
He's a good actor.
Now I'm so curious. Never heard of it.
Yeah, Backrooms.
Mhm.
It's a horror movie based on like liminal spaces. I do recommend it. Maybe I mean I would say watch it in theaters, but it's even if you don't get around to it, I would say at least watch it streaming. I think if you like horror. If you don't like horror, maybe not. But it's like a nice, fun little a little psychological because it
Yeah,
makes
those are my
you like
favorite kinds
think.
of horror too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. It was enough for me to go see it twice. So
Okay, okay, in theaters.
Yeah, in theaters, in theaters. Well,
Uh,
I like to revisit movies. Like I'm really bad about it. I will go watch the same movie a few times if I really like liked it or wanted to like see more from it or yeah.
I know people that have gone to see the same musical like 10 times, and I'm like, wow, that's a choice. That's
That
commitment.
that's a strong choice. That
Strong
might be over my
choice.
line.
I don't know if it's a choice I would make in life. Yes.
I feel like I would do that, one, if I had the money, but two, I would do that if I could somehow travel to different like states or
Mm,
countries. To like I would love to go see Hamilton in several different countries and see what the difference is, the nuances, and how like I would love to do that. But like to go see the
that's
same
a lot.
cast, maybe maybe a
That's
couple times. Maybe a couple times, but
Well,
not
to your
10.
point, Tiana, yeah, the same cast and like the same location, like the same theater. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, see it in a different space. At least get
yeah,
that, you know?
that makes more sense than seeing it in like the exact same cast theater. It's like what are we at this point, what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah. It's like an obsession or something at that point.
Which was
Yeah.
also a very good movie if you guys like horror. Well, T, I know you
Obsession.
don't, but Obsession. Oh, loved it. So good.
See, I need like good like psychological thriller horror recommendations and
Mm.
not ones that are like gory or anything like that because I'm not into that. So I'm gonna look into it. Obsession in bathrooms.
So you're not into Terrifier?
I haven't seen it, but yeah, like what I've seen of it, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that would be something I could really even do, let alone enjoy, you know? Like
That's a
I
hard one.
I'm at a point where like and I know someone from the Actors Lab was in it, right? Yeah, I saw that. There's just moments when I feel like I have to look away with stuff like that, you know, or like close my eyes 'cause I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I I don't really like horror at all. Movies.
Mm,
Like I'll go see it like every 10 years or so. We'll do a horror movie.
mm,
So specific to once
Literally,
a
I think
decade.
once a decade. And then because the problem is my mind, I don't think I would start seeing things or being like, so yeah, no. But
yeah, it's just kind of like heavy actually, you know? Like when you think about it, it is heavy mentally to watch stuff like that.
Oh, I can't
Yeah.
watch horror movies at night anymore. Like it's not that I'm scared or anything, but it's like why put yourself in that mindset? Why even
mhm.
do that to yourself? You know, like why even invoke those feelings? Let's save it for
Also,
a day.
can I just say, when I didn't watch The Sopranos until I was literally like maybe 5 years ago or so. But when I watched that whole series through, by the end of it, I was an anxious mess. Like the tone of that show really got to me, and I didn't realize it got to me until after I was done watching it. And I'm like, why do I feel so like I just like I'm not like I'm kind of like unsettled, I think is the word I should use. But it was because like I had the feelings, and also by that series, the last season is extremely dark because there's a whole lot of stuff going on. Very good show, very good writing, but like I tend to carry the emotions and the tone from what I'm watching, and that's why I just can't watch certain things because I don't carry it well, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I
yeah,
can
it's
get
one
that for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel that way about like really emotional movies. Like if it's gonna make me to your point, Natalie, if it's gonna make me cry like that, like I carry it. I it stays with me so long that I'm like I'd rather not like if I know a movie's gonna make me cry, I'd rather avoid it.
That's interesting. Like you don't even want to have that experience to begin with.
Mm-mm, no, because it puts me in such a funk. I can't do it.
Can I just close this out, unfortunately, with a Twilight reference and just say that I don't think I've ever rewatched a certain portion of the last Twilight movie because some of the wolves die in the big battle scene that actually was a dream. It didn't happen. But I watched that scene one time. okay, at the midnight showing back in 2012, and I have never I will skip over it. I cannot watch that scene because I get really upset. I'm like, why do they have to do this? You know? Yeah.
Like even after like realizing that it's a dream sequence, like your brain is just like, I don't want any parts of this.
Alicia, if a dog dies, if a wolf dies, a horse, a cat, Tiana can't do it. Tiana cannot do it.
Wow,
I'm so
even
sorry.
a wolf gets you too.
Girl, girl. And it was the wolf too. It was Seth, if anyone knows the character Seth. It was
Yeah.
Seth.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
then
Twilight well enough to
it was like
keeping
the
up
little
with it.
He was
the little
like,
brother of the crew.
yeah.
Like and then his sister watches it happen and and I'm like, I can't do it and I won't do it. I don't think I've ever rewatched that scene willingly. So I'm so sorry.
Live your truth. Live your truth.
Well, thank you so much, Natalie, for jumping on with us.
Yeah.
This has been
Thank
this has been a really good conversation.
This was fun. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I was honored.
I tell everyone this.
It was special for me to be on. So, especially as my first time on a podcast. So, yeah.
A podcast that's not your own because that is in the wings.
Yes, it is.
Also, yeah, and when that drops and stuff, like we'll totally promote it. Like just give us the link or something and we'll put it out to, our listeners.
Thank you. That would be amazing.
Yay. Well,
guys,
It was nice
go
meeting
by
you, Alicia.
yes, it was so nice meeting you. I can't wait to meet you in person when I finally can see the show. Very exciting.
Do you know what date?
everyone.
I want to go on the 12th. I want to see when our our actors lab friends plan on going, but I'm probably the 12th, I think it's the Sunday, so it'd be the 2 p.m. showing. And that just sounds so perfect to me. I just quit my second job, everyone. I actually put in the 2 weeks. It only took like 6 months.
Oh, congrats.
But
You
I
seem very
finally
happy,
quit.
so I'm gathering that this is a very good thing for you.
It's very bittersweet. I was there for 9 years, so it was a huge part of my life. It was my first job, like adult job out of college. And then I held on to it when I got a full-time job working corporate. And so it's very bittersweet. But I say that to say I'm finally getting my time back. So that's why I'm so excited because I'm like, I finally I can do things again and I don't have to have one day a week where I have to somehow schedule everything important to my life.
That's awesome. Congrats. That's big.
Thank you.
I'm trying to find which day the talkback is because I feel like it would be cool if you came on the day the talkback is, but I can't find it right now. But I'll find it.
It might,
but yeah,
sometimes they asterisk it, so I'll take a look at the tickets again.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Go buy your tickets. The link is in the description box, and
Yes,
hopefully everyone will come see this play.
I believe this is opening weekend when this episode drops. We're going into opening weekend, so this is literally opening tonight, I think. Is it Thursday?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow
So we're
night.
dropping Thursday. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Hey. That's exciting.
Nice.
Thank you
Well,
both again.
guys, Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Yeah. No. Go ahead. It's up.